you want to, or someone wants you to get into. This is how to get into, and by the end of this video, you will know.
Alright, don't be fooled by your buddies. Game of Thrones is very goddamn long. It has about 6 seasons with 60 episodes, which are called chapters. Each episode is around 55 minutes long, and the last season, season 7, is a bit of an outlier in that it only has 7 episodes, but each episode of that season is basically the length of your average Hollywood film. And this isn't an ad, but according to BingeClock.com, it would take about 2 days and 12 hours to get caught up to the beginning of season 7. But how do I watch it? So you have 4 legal options. I use HBO Go, but to be honest, the website is disgusting. It shuts down all the time, and with the added viewers of the new season, the traffic is going to be huge. So their potato of a server is probably going to implode. You can get episodes straight to your telly or mobile device by downloading them off of Amazon, Google Play, or iTunes. But to be honest, the easiest option is HBO Go and HBO Now because it has all of the latest episodes in HD when it's working, so I'll link them in the description. You can also buy the DVD or Blu-ray collections off of Amazon, third-party sites, and eBay, but I'd advise against that for obvious reasons. To get to HBO Go, you need to subscribe to HBO via a cable provider such as Comcast, Time Warner, Charter, or DirecTV, etc. But this isn't how to watch Game of Thrones. It's how to get into Game of Thrones. There are 2 ways. So you can read the books and then watch, or vice versa. This video caters more to those interested in the television series, and to be honest, I've only read the first book. But in a way, it goes to show you can get into Game of Thrones without reading the books, so you've got that. Also, this is going to be a major plot point spoiler-free tutorial for obvious reasons. So Game of Thrones is based on books? Reading? Don't forget the book series is called A Song of Ice and Fire, not Game of Thrones, so that the book fans aren't doubly triggered over the fact that you don't even know the real name of the also ridiculously long book series. Also, Game of Thrones is the first book in the series by George Raymond Richard Martin. Yes, his name is as long as the series. And this is a common meme with the Game of Thrones book fans, as the show passed the book several seasons ago. There are 4 families you've got to follow to get some semblance of the plot. The best advice I've got to tell them apart is by their hair. Targaryens have white and silver hair, Starks have brown, red hair. Baratheons are supposed to have black hair, but to be honest, they don't really in the show. And Lannisters are the blondes, but again, most of them are more of a dirty blonde to brown because of the actors. Targs were kicked out of their kingdom by the Baratheons, and the Lannisters mingled with the Baratheons via the marriage and children of Cersei Lannister and Robert Baratheon. The Starks are our protagonists, and the good guys that generally receive the most pain and torture from good old George are again the Starks because they're just so good. The show takes place 18 years after the last two Targs, Daenerys and Viserys, were booted out of their home in King's Landing and traveled around with the goal of eventually taking back their home from the Baratheon/Lannister rule. The Starks are friends with the Baratheons and kind of just deal with the Lannisters because they are such great friends with the Baratheons. There's also the Night's Watch that doesn't side with anyone and is made of people who wanted to abandon their old titles or lives. So basically, it's a bunch of criminals and bastards, and they live lives protecting everyone of the dangers lurking beyond the wall. I wouldn't watch this show with your parents or kids. It's got a lot of, R content. But if you have a friend that would be willing to watch the first few episodes to hold your hand along the way, I'd recommend doing that.
You afraid? I must be. Good.
Because Game of Thrones doesn't have some nice plot repetition like Peppa Pig.
Shopping!
Peppa and George are going shopping. Peppa and George like shopping.
Also, subtitles can help too. Alright, so that's going to do it for this episode of How to Get Into. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments, and links are in the